What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It has been quite a while. I think we're pushing about a month and a half since I last published a video. So I wanted to get something shot and uploaded for you guys. So I'm going to be starting an entirely new series, and it's kind of an interesting one for me because it takes the one world that I'm in, which is the tech world, and the other world that I'm in mainly, which is the car space, and blends them together. And I'm going to be calling it Cars Tech. Not really. I could, I guess, but I'm just going to be calling it Top Tech dash whatever car I'm looking at, right? So if you guys are unfamiliar, I have two other channels. I actually have 5, but I only post on 2 of them, and they are car channels for the dealership that I work for, which is Bachman Auto Group in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you guys are interested at all, or you need a vehicle in the area, or you need a vehicle outside of the area, definitely check them out. I'll have links in the description to not only the 2 channels that I post videos on, but also links to Bachman's different pages if you guys are interested. We have Chevy, Subaru, Volkswagen, Hyundai, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. So quite the selection there. So lots of different cars there. And this isn't necessarily an infomercial for Bachman, but I did want to give them a shout out because I'm kind of blending the 2 things together, right? Because I do all these overviews, reviews, secret features, videos, all kinds of different stuff. If you are interested in any of that on those specific brands I mentioned, definitely check those out. I'll have some links down in the description, like I said, and I'll have some videos on screen so you can hear what I'm talking about. But here, we're going to be taking a look at what we talk about on this channel, which is technology. And the crazy thing about cars these days is they're not just nuts and bolts anymore. These are computers on wheels, and they have tons of crazy technology inside them, not just that makes them work like generically, but additional kind of special features that make them luxurious or make them, able to drive themselves. We have, Teslas and BMWs and all these different types of fully electric cars that can drive themselves. Crazy stuff is going on when it comes to cars and technology and the combination of those 2, and I want to be able to talk about them on this channel. So the new series here, Top Tech Cars, right? So for the opening day video here, the #1 video on Top Tech Cars, we are going to be taking a look at the 2021 Hyundai Sonata. Now again, like I mentioned, this isn't going to be a review. I'm going to touch on a few things that it has just so you know, but if you want a full review, definitely go check out Bachman's channel. I'll be posting a full review of this vehicle there shortly. It may already be up depending on when you're watching this, but we're going to be taking a look at not the design, not the luxury seating and, things like that. We're gonna be taking a look at the technology and what makes this thing dope. And this thing is dope. I made a full review of the 2020 last year, and it is by far one of the coolest cars in the price point and in the segment. Now, some of these features will be available on other cars. Don't get me wrong. These are not groundbreaking new features necessarily, but at the price point, you're talking about a Hyundai. This is a 30,000 and below type of segment. It's hard to get this feature set at 30,000 or below. So the 2021 Sonata has a comprehensive set of cameras. You've got one facing forward, you've got one in the back, which is just your standard rear vision camera, and then you've got one on either side mirror. And this works in a plethora of different ways. So starting off, when you are in reverse, you can see all the different cameras, right? So you can see the just standard camera, which is your standard rear vision camera. It's got an adaptive turning system that lets you know kind of what the angle of your vehicle is. You can switch to a more top-down type of view. You can see a split view, so you can see either door and basically the back tires. And then if you switch to neutral, you actually have access to the forward-facing camera, and you can do the same thing. Switch to just the standard forward-facing camera, switch to more of a top-down view if you're kind of pulling up to a curb, and then see the split view of your front tires, and you can kind of see them turning in the screen there. Now, all these cameras work together to create their surround view system, and this lets you, see an overhead view rendering of your car with a real-time view around the vehicle. This is insane. Now, this isn't new. We've seen other cars that have this, but the fact that you can see a 360-degree, basically top-down third-person view of your vehicle as you're trying to park into a difficult parking space or get out of some, crazy packed parking lot or pull out of your driveway and try to avoid hitting all the toys on the driveway, things like that. It's crazy. The actual safety features in this thing are nuts, and it doesn't stop there. But let's talk about the last really cool feature of the camera systems, and that is the blind spot view monitor. Now, blind spot monitoring is not new. We see this on just about every vehicle except for the real low-down base models. Most vehicles have blind spot monitoring. It's usually a little light over on the side mirrors. This takes it to a new level because regardless of what kind of blind spot monitoring you have, typically you have to turn and look at the mirror, or you have to kind of see it out of the corner of your eye, right? And that still is a little bit unsafe because you're taking your eyes off of the road, whether temporary or not. It's still a safety risk, right? Your eyes want to be down the road as much as possible. So the fact that you're driving along, you have to, check your rearview mirror, maybe check your blind spot like that, not safe. Hyundai knew what they were doing. They took the accessibility of having those side mirror cameras, implemented a blind spot monitoring, so there's still a little light on there to let you know if someone's in your blind spot, but they moved the cameras right in front of your eyes onto the fully digital dash right here. So if you're getting ready to change lanes, you just go ahead and click down on the blinker there. It's going to pop that camera right onto either the left or right side, depending on which way you're turning, and you can see directly into your blind spot. You don't even have to worry if you're gonna accidentally run into somebody in the next lane, because you'll be able to see exactly who's over there. So I absolutely love that feature and the entire suite of features that you get with this surround view camera system and the blind spot view monitor. Let's move on to number 2, and that is just the screens in this thing, right? You've got, again, like I mentioned, that 12.3-inch beautiful LCD cluster up top, and then you've got a 10.25-inch screen over here that works as your main infotainment center. So by default, the screen is broken up into basically these little like widgets or applets, whatever you want to call them. You've got navigation here, you've got Sirius XM or whatever radio stations you're listening to, and then you've got HD weather radio here, and you can change that to whatever you want using the different settings menus. But if you go ahead and swipe over, you've got access to your navigation here on the top of the line limited trim, phone, which is like your Bluetooth, your radio, Sirius XM, AM, FM, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, those awesome in-vehicle systems. Voice memos, you can record those. You've got BlueLink, which is kind of like their OnStar type of system. Media, so whatever you connect via the USB data ports or Bluetooth, you can use a Bluetooth device there. You've got HD radio data, driving info, setup, notifications, things like that. And then you have some really wacky ones like this Sounds of Nature one. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And I think they put this in here originally to show off the Bose Centerpoint premium audio system that you've got in this bad boy. But basically it's a little bit like 10 hours of calming and relaxing nature sounds to help you sleep to, those kind of things. It's like that, but you can do it here in your 2021 Sonata. So you've got Lively Forest. Let's do a little demo here. Lively Forest, calm sea waves, rainy day, open air cafe, snowy village, warm fireplace. So if you're just, it's a cold winter night and you're trying to get warm in your Sonata, you can crank that heat up and just blast warm fireplace and give it one of these. Absolutely love using this 10.25-inch screen. I actually showed this off in my how to watch YouTube videos in your car video that I published a few months ago. I'll put a clip here on screen so you can see, but it's my favorite system to use for demos because of how big and beautiful that screen is. So that's the 10.25-inch infotainment center. Over on the 12.3-inch cluster display, again, like I mentioned, you've got that blind spot view monitor camera system that you can use. You also have just normal safety features or normal driving features and information you might need to know, oil life, oil temperature, how many miles left in your tank. But you can use the different smart driving features like smart cruise control with stop and go. You can set that all up right here. It'll show you on screen how close cars are to you, maintaining a certain distance, whatever you preset it to. The fact that these cars can basically drive themselves is incredible, and we'll talk about that in just a sec. But this thing will even tell you what your attention level is at. So if you're driving along, it'll show you whether it's low, high, in the middle, all kinds of stuff. So those are the big and beautiful screens here in the 2021 Sonata. You've also got a little LCD screen here that'll show you if your air conditioned seats are on or not, or what the fan speed is, things like that, which is super cool that it has that there. You also have little LCD screens on your temperature control dials that tell you what temperature you're turning to. So all kinds of big, beautiful screens here in the Sonata. So the third tech system that makes the 2021 Sonata awesome is the autonomous driving features, right? I'd probably put this at like a level 3 in autonomous driving, which is like the conditional system. So it's not where you can just sit back and fully give control over to the vehicle. Like human involvement and human interaction is still required for this to work. So you can do your smart cruise control with stop and go. Basically, you can get on the highway, set your speed, turn on that highway drive assist, and basically keep your hands on the wheel, but it turns the wheel for you. It maintains that distance. It lets you know if you're not paying attention. I mean, we're getting really close here to level 4 autonomous driving on a $30,000 car. You also have one called Safe Exit Warning. I think this one is genius. If you're in a parallel parking spot, let's say you're downtown and you're trying to open the door out into oncoming traffic, there's actually a radar that will sense if there's a vehicle coming that you don't see, and it will at least warn you, but in some cases override the door so you won't be able to open your car into oncoming traffic, which I think is just super, super smart, especially if you have kids in the back seat and they're just swinging those doors open right into traffic. This could really, really save you. So all kinds of absolutely killer safety and kind of convenience and autonomous driving features here on the 2021 Sonata. Now, number 4, I'm just going to quickly run through is the I/O ports in this thing. Now, a lot of vehicles have these, so that's why I'm kind of glossing over it. But you've got a 12-volt outlet, you've got 2 USB-A ports. One is just a data port, one is a charging port as well. Inside the glove box, you don't have anything. In the back seats, you have one more USB-A port for charging. And then finally, you have a Qi-enabled wireless charging pad right here past the shift-by-wire kind of pad here that you use to control what gear you're in. Now, the Qi-enabled charger here has a couple different features. Not only does it act as your traditional Qi-enabled charging for Qi-enabled wireless devices, but it also works with something that Hyundai calls the Hyundai Digital Key. Now, other manufacturers have had this before, right? I think Tesla is the main one that I know of that has it. BMW might, but it's basically an actual physical key, like a hotel key, right? Where you can walk up, use it to unlock your car and use it to start your car. And you could keep it in your wallet and scan your wallet and things like that. It's a super cool feature. So not only do they give you a physical key card that you can use to unlock your door and set in that charging pad area to start your car without any keys in your pocket at all, but you can also do it on phones. Now, currently it only works on Android phones. I think that has to do with the functionality and how NFC is unlocked on Android phones, whereas on iOS it's specific to like Apple Pay and things like that. Hopefully, as iOS continues to kind of open up a little bit, they'll be able to use the NFC on iPhones as well to use as this digital key. I know Apple's introduced something already. I forget what the name of it is. I'll put it on screen here. They showed it off in the keynote over the summer, but they have kind of a key system. It's functioning on BMWs only right now, but maybe we'll see it down the road kind of be an open source type thing. But you can actually use your phone. If you have an Android phone, pretend this is a, Galaxy 30, whatever. I'm not an Android person, but imagine you had one of those Android phones. You could walk up, press your phone up against the door, unlock it, take it, put it in here, and then you're able to push to start engine and start that thing up without any key at all. Absolutely awesome. So the 5th and final thing I want to talk about in this first edition of Top Tech Cars is something that Hyundai calls Remote Smart Park Assist. You may have seen the commercials for this with John Krasinski where he's talking in the Boston accent. I'll put a little clip on screen here.
Look who's got Smart Pack.
Smart Pack?
Absolutely awesome feature. Let's take a look at how it works. So here's how Remote Smart Park Assist works. Let's say, for example, you hop out of your car, you've just parked at a restaurant, you're getting ready to walk inside. This happens to me all the time, and you realize I'm not far back enough, or I'm too far back. Here's what you're gonna wanna do. You're gonna wanna first lock your car, press and hold the remote start button. Then you have 2 buttons on the key fob that you can use to either move the car forward or move the car backward. So you're gonna wanna press and hold whichever direction you need to go. So let's go ahead and just move it forward. So I'm gonna press. Let's move her back. And there you go. Absolutely no driver needed at all. You can control it just with the key fob. I think this is an absolutely killer feature, especially for the examples that I mentioned. There's all kinds of different applicable scenarios, parallel parking situations, perpendicular parking situations, anything where you need to move your car in or out. Even if you park in a tight, compact spot and you just want to say, I'm not even try to jam my doors into somebody else's car, I'm just gonna pull it forward so I don't even have to mess with it. Now it has some restrictions. You can only do it within about 10 feet of your car. So once it moves out of that zone, it automatically stops. And obviously the key in that situation where it has to be within 10 feet isn't within range of the car because it will not work. So that is the remote smart parking assist feature, and it's absolutely killer on the 2021 Sonata. All right, guys, and that was the first ever episode of Top Tech Cars, or Cars Tech. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna call it yet. You guys let me know in the comments down below which one you like better, and maybe we'll roll with it from there. But for now, Top Tech Cars on the 2021 Hyundai Sonata. Drop a like on the video if you loved it. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you guys think about the technology here inside a 30,000 and below sedan from Hyundai? It's pretty impressive. Let's have a conversation down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.